Hello and welcome. I hope this message finds you well. Today I want to talk about the principle of radical acceptance and how we can use this principle to navigate our way through the challenges of life. So what is radical acceptance? Well, first let's define acceptance in the context we are going to be talking about. Acceptance is the choice to believe that something is the way that it is. This seems pretty simple, and in situations without a lot of intense emotional involvement, this will usually come naturally without really having to think about it. Now, radical acceptance is a deeper and more thorough form of acceptance. It comes into play when something is difficult and painful to accept, or it goes against the way we believe life should be. This could be a difficult situation or tragic event. It could be one of the circumstances of our life we can't control. It could be a person we don't like, behaviors we find hard to tolerate, or perhaps even an aspect of ourselves. When we practice radical acceptance, we can cope with life's difficulties with less of a struggle and find a deeper sense of peace within ourselves, as well as harmony with the people in our lives. Radical acceptance focuses more on changing the way we respond to the circumstances of our life, rather than trying to change the circumstances themselves. We will need to use this when we run into situations where we just cannot change the situation itself. Radical acceptance is accepting that something is the way that it is, and no matter how much we don't like it or don't want it to be that way, our feelings about it will not change the facts. Radical acceptance is not denying we don't like or don't want something, or trying to deny the pain and difficulty of an experience. We're not trying to avoid or suppress our feelings. That doesn't work. What we are trying to do is to accept difficult experiences and painful feelings as an unavoidable part of life, and learn to respond to them in a manner that will benefit us rather than harm us. We will need to not cling to our judgments about whether something is good or bad. We're not going to try and force ourselves not to make judgments. That's a pretty impossible task. What we want to do instead is detach a bit from our judgments. Reduce how important we consider them compared to how we handle the situation itself. This is not meant to dismiss or minimize how we feel about something, but rather help us to redirect that mental energy towards finding the solution and bringing about a greater sense of peace. We want to do this without criticizing ourselves too much for not liking something or for having these difficult emotions. Radical acceptance is not forced positivity in the face of a truly painful situation. It is not pretending that something is okay when it's not. Practicing radical acceptance is actually a way that we can honor the pain and difficulty of these experiences. Okay, so how do we practice radical acceptance? There are two key components to this process: changing our actions and changing our attitude. The first part is examining the actions we are taking. If we notice we are acting in a way that indicates a lack of acceptance, such as trying to change or control things we can't, then we need to change those actions. This is especially important in the way we talk. A good way to practice this kind of self-examination is journaling. This could be done daily or whenever needed. Getting our thoughts out of our head can bring clarity and lets us let go of things we don't want to hold on to. If you have a supportive person that you can trust, talk with them. We don't want to try to get someone else to solve our problems for us, but the process of conversation can reveal things that we didn't see before. If we get stuck on one particular situation and are not making any progress, shift some time and energy towards working on other areas of your life. On a day-to-day basis, keep up with the moment and focus on the task at hand right now. We also need to make the conscious effort to shift our attitude towards a more accepting and peaceful disposition. This is going to be a deeply personal process for everyone because we all think differently. The main things that I can recommend are practice patience with yourself. If you're like me, then you have a lot of old mental conditioning to overcome, and that just takes time. Don't try to force it, let the process happen naturally. The kind of acceptance we're looking to practice is a decision that we make on a level that runs deeper than our surface thoughts. The process is going to take time, and it's going to take work. We will need to consistently renew our commitment to practicing this principle. It's not a one-time event. Expect to make mistakes and not criticize yourself too much for doing so. This is a lifelong practice, and we're never going to become perfect at it. Be persistent and perseverant. This is not an easy skill to learn, but it is well worth the effort. Be willing to feel the uncomfortable feelings that come up. Allow them just to be and breathe with them. Start learning other coping skills to manage and handle these feelings. Meditation and mindfulness will help in the process and are skills that are well worth the effort. Practice good self-care. Get enough sleep, eat healthy, drink plenty of water, and exercise regularly. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you are able to take something from it that will help you in your journey. Feel free to drop a like if you did. I will be going into more of these spiritual principles and how to use them in following videos. Subscribe if you want to learn more. Until next time, fellow travelers, I wish you well on your journey.